One of the other questions I wanted to ask you, a couple speculative things, just because of you understand that the tech behind a lot of different things from what I've gathered. The blockchain and Bitcoin's going crazy again. Um, is this something that we're going to continue to see? Because I think a lot of people just don't understand how it really works, the blockchain in general. But
Yeah.
it's just the volatility of it. I think is probably what scares most people or most investors. It's just it's a wild ride. That's for sure. And I just was curious if you could maybe give us a quick rundown on what you think of blockchain and Bitcoin and what the future will bring with that.
So I don't. I'll be the first person to tell you I don't trust Bitcoin's blockchain technology. I think that honestly it's slow, and then on top of that, there's so many issues with it. I think that the reason why a lot of folks have gotten behind the Bitcoin craze itself is because of the fact that you have one side of the room that says, okay, hey, we see the future with cryptocurrency and we're using Bitcoin as really like that huge catalyst, which I believe it's the wrong one. And then on top of that, you see other folks, or a vast portion of folks who see it as like it's a moneymaker. I started off with this much amount, or I mined this much amount, and now it's at this value. So now ultimately I can sell. But then you also have a strong amount of folks in whom which they saw it as purely just as an investment, with the potential of looking at what the future could be with it. And then they're kind of like sitting there kind of stuck because of the fact that to sell it means that essentially that you also have to pay the capital gains tax on it. And, who wants to do that?
Right.
I don't. So for me, it's interesting now that you're starting to see other companies literally start to adopt and say, okay, hey, well, what are the use cases? One of the use cases that I saw early on was Expedia, where you can use your cryptocurrency to literally book a hotel. I did that when my wife and I accidentally made a mistake in our scheduling, and we were there for an extra day. We thought that we were leaving the same day, and that was not the case. And so we had to find another hotel, another place to stay, and they allowed us to pay with cryptocurrency. We didn't use Bitcoin, we used Ethereum. And so using that blockchain, and you're seeing a lot of folks using the blockchain technology for different types of use cases. One of the biggest things is because it's faster. It's faster to be able to record transactions, and then on top of that, able to move swiftly from transaction to transaction. And then on top of that, just a multitude of different things when we look at security. It eases up the security nightmare that I'm probably sure that plagues most financial institutions as well as even retail. Now, bringing it into the landscape of what we see within the skepticism of today's market of looking at cryptocurrency, in some cases you have companies that are buying Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as a hedge against, say, for example, whether it may be their stock, since they can't do stock buybacks, so buying cryptocurrency as a leverage play. I mean, you also see countries that do the same thing. For example, major countries that are buying up tons of cryptocurrency to leverage against, say, for example, any potential tariffs in a trade war, and essentially devaluing the currency so that way they can make those types of moves. But seeing the future, it's really going to come down to really like looking at, I would say I'm a huge fan of Ethereum. And the reason why is because I believe that Ethereum is stable. I believe that there are way more use cases that uses Ethereum's blockchain, which means that their actual technology works, their platform works, that they're willing to make significant upgrades. You know exactly who the founders are of Ethereum. You know what they stand for. Versus, say, for example, a moniker of we never know who actually is the founder of such a cryptocurrency. Ethereum is also like the cryptocurrency itself is pretty transparent when you look at it within the financial landscape of things. So I think that honestly, it's going to come down to a few companies to look at to see exactly how it plays out. My eyes are definitely looking at Visa and looking at how their API will start to improve and how does it play well with especially platforms like Ethereum, since they just recently did their upgrade. But the biggest one to look at is not even Tesla, it's actually Apple. Because the day that Apple adopts that, and I think that the moment that that Visa brings that into the landscape of things, and then essentially that opens up the door for companies like Apple, especially through Apple Wallet and those services, then now you just open up the floodgates for cryptocurrency to really start to really give some legs to their argument of, is this really here to stay? When you actually start building out infrastructural pieces that literally start to become a part of the normalcy of everyday transactions within the financial ecosystem, then now you actually have a strong argument. And I think that we're headed that way. But at the same token, there's tons of speculation across different types of coins, whether, major cryptocurrencies and altcoins, whatever you may have.